Hey, tubers, what's happening, man? I hope you're having a great evening. Coming at you a little bit later than usual with really just a project update. I am in a secret location, my backyard, working on the project, waiting for stuff to dry. As always, hurry up and wait. Hey, I just want to thank everybody for hanging out. You know, man, if you like this kind of content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Come hang out with us some more at TED Talks Guitars and Life. You know, we've really got two mantras of the channel. The first is you do you. Man, don't let anybody run any space in your head. There are so many different videos that you could watch on how to do just about anything on the planet. So I've certainly watched my share, yes I have, of people refinishing guitars, and I'm doing my best to mimic what they did. I will never be able to emulate what they did. I don't have their experience and their expertise. So I will make feeble attempts to do what is suggested. The other reality is that there's probably 150 different ways to approach any project, particularly a refinishing project. So many of you know that I started over with the Fesley Deluxe Edition T-style guitar in a little journey I like to call My Grandson Wants an Orange T-style Guitar, Jack, so I'm going to give him one. The second mantra of the channel is nothing I do is prescriptive for you. Everything that I do is just documenting my own personal journey in all things guitars and life. So I really don't intend for you to think of me as any kind of instructor. And if we were in church, somebody would say, amen, man, that cat don't know what he's doing, Jack. But yeah, seriously, nothing I do is instructive. I do offer the best tips that I can, particularly on things that I know much more about than refinishing projects. That said, tonight I'm going to break the rules, man. I'm going to tiptoe out into the waters of prescriptive land just for a moment with this fun fact, tip, or factoid, or take it with a grain of salt. Take it from an old man on a journey, man. Here's what I'd say. If you've never done a refinishing project on a guitar, and you're going to buy a kit guitar or any guitar, and you are going to refinish that guitar with spray paint, any kind of paint, take the time to count the cost of materials, your time, and all the things. Now, those of you who hang out on the channel know that the only reason I have invested, about 2 weeks of my life on this project is because I love my grandson and I love to learn things. So those two loves have kept me strong even in the valleys of defeat and despair. And whoa, Jack, there's been some of those along the way, man. It's been crazy up in here from time to time. But man, if you're going to buy any kind of guitar thinking you're going to refinish it because you can't find the color that you'd like to have the guitar in, let me just encourage you, rooted in my experience now, that's all it is, my experience, my thoughts on a late Wednesday evening. Count the cost, man. Count the cost of the kit or the guitar that you're going to start with. Count the cost of the endless amounts of sandpaper. Count the cost of maybe needing to go out and buy an orbital sander. Count the cost of buying sanding sealer and primer and cans and loads of spray cans. I told my wife this morning, this is Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil night. Well, it always is on TED Talks Guitars and Life. I said, baby, I could have bought an orange Telecaster from brand whoever and not have spent as much money as I've spent so far on this project. This was for my grandson. This is a kit, a very cheap $119 kit guitar, but man, I have spent some cash, man. I've bought the sander, I bought the sanding sealer and the primer and the mineral spirits and the shop rags and all the things, man. Butcher block paper just for my table here so I don't ruin any more, go through any more paper towels trying to make a tablecloth out of them. So man, count the cost, dude. Do what you can to just calculate how much you would spend. Parts, materials, and your time. Compare that number, not the cost of the guitar, that number of the guitar and all the parts, your time, all that, everybody should know what an hour of your life is worth. So for me, this is a labor of love for my grandson. I'm continuing to rock and roll the situation the best I can. I have had a couple setbacks today, and so yeah, I'm having to rethink some things, some approaches to the guitar. I think I'm on a good path. I certainly hope so. However much this guitar ends up costing me in the long run for my grandson, it will be worth it. But I just wanted to give a cautionary tale for those of you who are considering doing this, particularly now if you've never refinished a guitar before. Watching people, watching experts on YouTube do things, I am not one, obviously, and thinking that you will just simply do what they did. Just hasn't been working out for me to date. So my encouragement to you, buy the guitar in the color you want, Jack. Or be prepared to pay for parts and take a lot of time, a lot of learning curve. Well, I'm just out here watching a sanding sealer dry, waiting to do another coat in the morning. And then we'll move on to primer, and then we'll move on to coats of paint at some point this weekend. But I just want to check in. I knew you missed me, man. I know you're like, dude, where's Ted, man? That cat posts a video every night. No, it just feels that way, doesn't it? Anyway, hey, the project's going great, man. I really appreciate, I value all of you who are taking the time, man. Some of you are emailing me. Some of you are commenting, reaching out to me in a couple different ways and sharing your best practices, your ideas. I even had a cool brother, man, volunteer. He said, dude, bring that guitar to me and let me finish it for you. I said, bro, man, I would love to do that, but there's a sentimental reason that I'm killing it. I'm killing myself. Knocking myself out is the way I should say that. And that is for my grandson. And two, man, it is for the joy of learning. Even in the most frustrating seasons of this project, I keep telling my wife it's a learning experience. And I'm learning a whole lot. And I hope, man, there's so many different ways to do stuff. My end goal for this project is that I leave this project with an approach to do this project again, to tackle another guitar. Should I ever want to refinish one, that I would have my own strategy and my own plan, rooted in my experience, rooted in what I've learned, rooted in a lot of your great comments and other people's vids I've been watching, but that I'd have my own path, man, and that I'd follow my own path and do my own thing. You do you isn't just an expression around here at Ted Talks Guitars and Life. It is my motto, man. So here's the things that are keeping me sane. You ready? Number one, it's just a piece of wood. So for me, man, when I think about this being a guitar, this slab of wood I got sitting over here, when I think about this being a guitar, and not just any guitar, but my grandson's guitar, man, that makes me feel a certain way. That seeks pushes me into seeking performance and all of my insecurities, and I've got to go up against my own confidence level, and I'm thinking about what if I fail again, and I'm thinking about all those things, man, in my head, dude, in my head. I am going through it, but here's what keeps me sane, man. It's just a piece of wood. Now, will it be a guitar one day? Man, I hope so. But today, it's just a piece of wood, and that keeps me sane. The other thing that's keeping me sane in this super long project, man, I told my wife, I said, baby, over the weekend, man, I'm going to solder some stuff. I'm going to make some vids on doing electronics for this build, because I know how to do that. Hey, man, that'd be great to do something I know how to do and share whatever I know with all of y'all. But, you know, the second thing that's keeping me sane is the only person who's keeping a time on this deal is me, man. There ain't no schedule hanging over my head. There ain't nobody breathing down my neck saying, you got to finish that guitar by such and such a date. I'm doing all that myself in my head, man. I'm putting my own self through it. So, 1, it's just a piece of wood. 2, I'm creating the timeline. I got to remember that. It's my timeline. I'm not under any pressure. And the third thing that's keeping me sane, worst case scenario, I sand this baby to bare wood and start over. Man, what a journey this has been, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Let me know if you're enjoying the ride. Hey, if you've got comments on anything I've said tonight, you want to push back, you want to say something, man, come on and have some fellowship, man. Make a comment. Let's talk about it. What do you think, man? Worth it or not worth it? I know a lot of you have told me in the comments already, man, I'd have put that body in the bin and bought a different guitar already. Even Howard said that. I'd just buy a new guitar, man. I wouldn't waste my time. He didn't say waste my time. He said I wouldn't invest my time to redo that, man. What would you guys do, man? What do you think about the project? What do you think about all this? Hey, man, wherever you are in your journey, though, seriously, dudes, seriously, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Rock on with your bad selves, man. I'll catch you down the road.